Me being a diehard Adventure Time fan, I rarely missed an episode. When I did, I was busy or was out with some friends. One episode I watched was extremely disturbing, and I thought I would share it with you. It was 2:30 a.m. The only reason I was up was because a commercial on TV had woken me up. I realized Adult Swim was on. Hating that channel, I figured I would change it to something different, hoping something entertaining was on. When I went to guide, it surprised me to see that Adventure Time was on. I clicked info on my remote to see what it was called. It said no information, and I thought maybe it was a new episode. When I exited out of the guide, the theme song was different. It was almost emotionless. But when it said Jake the dog, it seemed depressed and sad. Jake looked more white than orange, too. And when it said Finn the human, it seemed completely emotionless. No feeling at all. He seemed also sad, almost crying. When the theme song ended, and it showed the title, all it said was Jake's death, and nothing else. The way it looked was completely different from it usually was. All it was a white screen, like on Microsoft Paint. In paint black letters it said Jake's death, and it was in very sloppy cursive writing, like it was written by a child and nothing more. It stayed on that for a good 30 seconds with a music box playing in the background. It was very sad and brought me on the verge of tears. When I went into the show, I stayed out at Princess Bubblegum's castle. Everyone was happy and laughing. Jake, who was still in the white color, looked lifeless, but was laughing too. Everyone was there. The Ice King, Finn, Princess Bubblegum, the Marceline, the Vampire Queen, and her friends. One of the Who-mens, and even a few wizards and witches. Mr. Peppermint was there too. They were all talking, but I couldn't hear what they were saying, because the voices were all muffled, like they had a blanket over their mouth. All this went on until the screen slowly faded out to nothing but blackness. Then, the next scene showed Finn and Jake yelling at each other. Their voices were still muffled. Everyone cowered away from them, obviously scared. I made out a few words, such as, bad friend, and I hate you. And one I heard Finn say, which really scared me. He said, I'm going to kill you. After he finished that sentence, the screen cut black for a good 2 minutes, until I heard Jake scream and a bone crack. When the screen cut back to show the castle empty, all that was there was Finn and Jake. Everyone else was gone. Finn was sitting in a corner crying, not in a cartoon way, but in a real life way, like he was really sad. Jake, on the other hand, was lying in the middle of the room, dead, blood spilling out of his neck. His body was completely white, except where his blood was. The sight made me sick. I could see the inside of his neck, which looked real. I ran into the bathroom and almost threw up. After I finished, I came back out. The same scene playing. Then static filled the screen. I could still hear Finn's crying though. When it came back, Finn was standing up, with a gun to his head. His eyes were realistic and bloodshot. I could hear him murmuring something to himself, but I couldn't tell. Jake was completely rotten now, with no flesh at all. Then I heard Finn say, I'm sorry, Jake. And he pulled the trigger, and the screen went black, and the credits played. The screen was white with black words. Finn and Jake's lifeless bodies were laying on the ground. They were black figures now, and nothing more. The same sad music box played and the TV shut off. But after it did, I turned on a lamp. I was completely scared and shocked of whatever I saw. Ever since that episode, I have nightmares of Jake's lifeless body lying on the ground, slowly rotting away. I never want to sleep again. I want to commit suicide, but if I die, I would still have those nightmares.